It wasn't too long ago that great downloadable games were a rare find, but these days it seems more and more of the year's best titles are making a digital debut. Enter Deadlight, another bite-sized game with blockbuster aspirations. This Xbox Live Arcade exclusive is the first production by Tequila Works, a Spanish developer forged by a super team of artists and designers from all corners of popular media. They've caught our attention, but is this the stunning first impression we've been hoping for?
Dead people, corpses. They don't impress me anymore.
The year is 1986. A haunted man journeys alone across the United States in the wake of a zombie apocalypse. He is plagued by recurring nightmares. He's trying to find his missing wife and daughter, and he has a beard. It's the classic story you know and love. All your favorite characters are here: insane war veteran man, plucky grieving teenager man, and there's even the sacrificial supporting player in there as well. Yes, Deadlight seems to go out of its way to include almost every trope and cliché of the genre. It's tragic because the Madrid-based team were clearly intending their story as a loving homage. Sadly, the content is too earnest, too familiar, and it's all presented without a hint of irony. At least the script has considerable style, and what it lacks in originality, it makes up for in solid voice acting and the occasional profound idea.
You murdered her! She's dead!
What the hell have you done?
Why?
You'll find many more profound ideas in the game's fusion of survival horror and cinematic platforming. Although it doesn't add much to either genre, by simply bringing them together, Deadlight manages to become something new. At a time where action is the norm, Deadlight stands out by remaining faithful to the gameplay and atmosphere of survival horror. Combat is limited to an axe that requires stamina and a couple of guns with a ration of ammo. The guns work in a similar way to the brilliant Shadow complex, with aiming on the right stick, firing on the right trigger, and a seriously satisfying mechanic where you reload your revolver one bullet at a time. With the axe or the gun, you'll need to be careful around groups of enemies. It's easy to negate one or two, but your health is thin, and once they bunch up, they can quickly become overwhelming. The levels are designed to alternate between using stealth and using force. Figuring out which tactic works best is definitely one of Deadlight's best features. It's at this point where the game's platforming comes in. Combining the silhouetted style of Limbo with the athletic movements from Prince of Persia, your way through Deadlight is both challenging and rewarding. You'll need to climb over obstacles, solve environmental puzzles, and make regular nail-biting jumps. The sprint feature is well implemented, both as a necessity for longer jumps and as a way through blocked doorways. There are also a handful of exhilarating set pieces that are clearly inspired by the simple thrills of the iOS gem Cannabolt. Sometimes, though, we got stuck on sections where it wasn't clear how to progress, only to discover that all that was needed was a pixel-perfect jump. We welcomed the challenge as a tradition of old-school platformer design, but be warned, it's a feature of Deadlight that might turn some more casual players away altogether.
How many times have we said not to separate from the group?
Never means never.
You'll want to keep playing, though, in order to experience the game's devastatingly beautiful landscapes. The Seattle Tequila Works have created is worn, dirty and raw. It's a sobering contrast to the more colourful Walking Dead games, littered with details and impressive visual variety. The sights can sometimes be genuinely horrific, with some shocking violence obscured in silhouette. It's never gratuitous, though, and coupled with the sound design, always adds to the game's disturbing atmosphere. Though they might be gaming cliches, the diaries and scraps you discover give the world a lived-in feel, and there's a purveying sense of hopelessness drawn throughout. Tequila Works have said that their design philosophy is to create small, tasteful things, and that's a pretty good description of Deadlight. It's an interesting combination of art and gameplay, features together strong enough to make up for a mediocre story. It's not quite the stunning first impression we'd hoped for from this promising studio, but it's another worthwhile addition to anybody's downloadable collection.
Save yourself.